ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. For those of you who are new, my name is Varsha Shinde and I welcome you all to this Bhagavad Gita study group. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Alright, let's do a quick recap. The Dharmi Pandavas and the Adharmi Kauravas, all of them have assembled at Kurukshetra on this Dharmakshetra battlefield. Okay, a place where a lot of dharmic activities have taken place in the past. Duryodhan has just spoken to his Guru Dronacharya, and he's given him a list of who's who on each side. The great Bhishma Pitamaha, he has blown the conch shell, declaring that now there is absolutely no chance for peace. Following him, everyone on the Kaurav side is blowing alag conch shells, like they're blowing bugles and trumpets and drums and what have you, and they've created a chaos. We've covered up to here. Now today we're going to start with verse number 14. So for those who've just joined, Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 verse 14. Please repeat after me. Tata shveter haer yukte Mahatisyandane sthitau Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divyau Shankau Pradatmatuhu. Beautiful. Now picture this. 64 crore Kshatriyas are said to have assembled on that battlefield. About 25 crores on the side of the Pandavas, about 39 crore Kshatriyas on the side of the Kauravas. Bhishma Pitama has loudly given a call for battle by blowing his conch shell. Everyone on the Kaurav side has shown their eagerness to get the war started. And that's why they've blown bugles and trumpets and drums and shank. There is a loud uproar. Everyone is super excited. And then in some time, when that whole noise from the Kaurav army starts to wane, at that time, from the far side of the field, a golden chariot appears. A beautiful golden chariot drawn by 4 white horses. And on that golden chariot is the flag of Hanuman. And from that chariot comes the sound of not one but 2 conch shells. And when these conch shells are blown, every man on the field is frozen. Because these did not sound like ordinary conch shells. These sounded like divine conch shells. So this verse essentially introduces us to the 2 main heroes of this story, Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna was standing tall on his chariot, dark and really exquisitely handsome. He has long, unkempt, curly hair. He has strong arms. He's well built, beautiful, broad shoulders. He's carrying that powerful bow called Gandiv. And then there is, of course, our gorgeously beautiful Krishna. Beautiful like the moon, dark, curly haired, the all attractive. And yet here, a simple charioteer of Arjuna, Arjun ke Sarthi. Pay attention. Krishna, the great speaker of the Bhagavad Gita, he has made his entrance. Matlab literally hero ki entry hui hai. And yet, he is not being introduced as Ishvara Parama Krishna or Govinda Mahadi Purusham or the great, omnipotent, all-knowing Lord. No, he is being introduced as a simple charioteer of Arjuna. Amazing, right? And that is why he's called Bhaktavatsal, somebody who absolutely adores his devotees. This verse shows us many signs that indicate ki pakka the Pandavas are going to win this war. Let's look at what they are. First, of course, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has agreed to become Arjuna's charioteer. Krishna Even if he said that I'm not going to pick up any weapon during the war, does not matter. Krishna is the personification of dharma and he is on the side of the Pandavas. So obviously the Pandavas should win, hai na? Next, Krishna in this verse is referred to as Madhav. Look at the third line. Madhava Pandavaschaiva. Madhav, husband of Ma Lakshmi. And who is Lakshmi? The goddess of fortune. Whatever we want, Lakshmi Mata can give us, hai na? So obviously, if she is on my side, I will win, hai na? The beauty is that wherever Krishna goes, Lakshmi goes with him. Just like us. She never wants to leave her husband alone. And so, if Krishna is on the side of the Pandavas, then obviously Lakshmi ji is also on their side. Correct? Wonderful. Third point. The chariot that they are on, right, has been gifted by Agni Dev. Agni Dev, the god of fire, has gifted this chariot to Arjuna. This large, stunning, sturdy, golden chariot drawn by these 4 beautiful white horses is a divine gift from Agni Dev. And then verses 15, 16, 17, 18. We're not going to be reading these verses, but these verses give us a list of all the divine conch shells which are blown by the warriors on the side of the Pandavas. Okay? The people who are now part of the Pandav army. Their conch shells are described as divine. They're all blessed by God. Krishna blows his divine conch shell called the Panchajanya. Arjun blows his, and Arjun's conch shell is called Devadatta. We don't have to know all these names, but they're beautiful when they fall on our ears. Okay? So Krishna ka conch shell is Panchajanya. Arjun's conch shell is Devadatta. Following them, Bhim, Yudhishthir, Nakul, Sahadev, all these warriors, right? All these warriors who've assembled to fight on behalf of the Pandavas, they all blow their conch shells. And what is the effect of blowing these conch shells? We'll go straight to verse 19. Okay? Please turn the pages, go to verse 19. Repeat after me, please. Saghosho dhatarashranam Hridayani vyadarayat Nabhascha prithvim chaiva Tumulo bhyanunadayan. Okay, so remember, when grandfather Bhishma and when Acharya Drona and Karna, when these guys on the side of Duryodhan, when they blew their respective conch shells, the Pandavas were still full of confidence. There was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas. But in this particular verse, Sanjay is telling Dhritarashtra that when the conch shells on the side of the Pandav army were heard, the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered. The Kauravas were fearful. Not because they had a small army, no. They had a huge, a very powerful army. They had great warriors on their side, and yet they felt fear. Why? Because their conscience definitely pricked them. Inside they knew, right? Inside they were aware of all the crimes, of all the misdeeds that they have done in the past. Right? So they are afraid. But Arjun is raring to go. Right? The uproar on the battlefield has excited the warrior blood in Arjun, and he is so excited. He is thinking, you know what? I need to go check out these horrible people who've decided to support this evil-minded Duryodhan. Right? And so he tells Krishna. He says, oh Krishna, you know what I want you to do? I want you to please take my chariot between the two armies, so that I can see who are those horrible people who have come on the side of the Kauravas. Who are those people that I have to fight with? Right? Like a good Yodha, Arjun wants to assess, he wants to evaluate the strength of the enemy. And he says, Krishna, you are Achyuta. You are somebody who never fails me. Right? So please, take me to the middle of this battlefield so that I can look at both sides and decide what our strategy should be. Now please remember, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And yet, just out of his mercy, out of his compassion, his love, he is engaged in the service of his friend. As charioteer, as sarthi, he literally has to carry out every order that Arjun gives him. And Krishna does not hesitate. And so he is called Achyuta, infallible, completely dependable. मैं इस पे पूरा भरोसा कर सकती हूँ. Right? So Krishna is extremely reliable. So let's do a quick recap on all the signs of victory that have been mentioned so far. 1. The great Madhav, Rishikesh, Achyuta is on the side of the Pandavas. So 2. Automatically Lakshmi Ji, the goddess of fortune, is with them. 3. Chiranjeevi Hanumanji, that same great Hanuman, right, who helped Ram in his war against Ravan. He is on that Kapidhwaja, on the flag, which means Hanumanji has promised his support to the Pandavas. 4. That mighty chariot has been given by Agnidev, the fire god. 5. All the conch shells that were being blown, they were all transcendental, divine. And 6. The place where they've assembled is Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. So far, everything indicates a sure shot victory for the Pandavas. No doubt whatsoever. Here Arjuna is in his fancy chariot and is giving Krishna instructions. And he's saying, "Oh Achyuta, oh most dependable one, please place the chariot in the middle of the battlefield so that I can see the people who have assembled to fight against us." Arjuna is fearless. The Supreme Lord is his charioteer. And he knew that he and his brothers were rightfully entitled to half the kingdom of Hastinapur. But because the wicked sons of Dhritarashtra had not agreed, Arjuna was ready for battle. He's now eager to get back what was rightfully his, and he wants to punish the Kauravas for all their wrongdoings. Right? So he requests Krishna to place the chariot in the middle of the battlefield so that he can take a closer look at the Kaurav army. Arjun wants to see all those who've taken the side of injustice. He wants to punish them because they had chosen to be on the wrong side. He's thinking in his head, none of them will now be spared. I am a warrior. I am a prince. And now I want justice. Anyway, so Krishna could understand that Arjun is all charged up. Arjun wants to check out his enemies. Arjun wants to punish them. And so what does Krishna do? He drives this magnificent chariot into the middle of both the armies. Hundreds of millions of warriors were in the Kuru armies. There was Duryodhan, who had wronged Arjun and his brothers several times. There was that Dushasan, who had pulled Draupadi by her hair. There was that Sutaputra Karna, who had encouraged Dushasan and laughed at the Pandavas. Arjun was so angry. Arjun was so ready to teach them all a lesson. He was so ready to fight these horrible, horrible people and kill them. But what does Krishna do? Krishna could have taken the chariot in front of Duryodhan. Krishna could have taken the chariot in front of Dushasan, in front of Karna, in front of Shakuni, in front of all those horrible people who had done wrong. But instead, what does Krishna do? Krishna takes that chariot right in front of the two people that Arjun loved the most. His dearest grandfather Bhishma and his dearest teacher Acharya Drona. Krishna forces Arjun to see that both his beloved people, his grandfather and his guru, he loved them, he respected them, he worshipped them, and yet both of them were standing on the other side. They were standing opposite him in battle. Now, looking at the armies on both the sides of the battlefield, Arjun's heart sank. Because now he couldn't see enemies. All he saw were his friends and his relatives. Just a few minutes back, Arjun, the brave warrior, he wanted to punish the Kauravas for all their wickedness. And now, he's so confused. Who are all these people? Why do I think that they're my enemies? They are my friends. They are my relatives. Why do I want to harm them? Suddenly, standing there in the middle of the battlefield, Arjuna is thinking, oh my God, I cannot imagine the devastation that this war is going to cause. And suddenly, his courage, his heroism, all of this starts to fade. Arjuna is so confused and his mind is filled with so many questions. Because when he requested Krishna to get the chariot in the middle of the battlefield, Krishna did not take it in front of Arjuna's arch enemies. Krishna pulled up the chariot in front of Arjuna's favoritist people. Arjuna looks around, looks at all the warriors on the battlefield, right? All of them on either side. He looks at them and he thinks, oh my God, my own relatives, my own friends, my own family. And compassion comes to the forefront. His whole body starts trembling. His hair stands on end. Literally, rongte khade ho jate hain. And his gandiv starts slipping from his hand. He says, Krishna, I'm unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself. My mind is reeling. Right? Arjuna is overcome by emotions. His body is trembling, his mouth is drying up, his hair is standing on end, his heart is burning, Gandiv is slipping. He is not able to stand any longer. And he says, Krishna, nothing good could possibly come out of this war. Oh Krishna, I can't stand. Krishna, I see only bad omens on all sides. Krishna, I came here expecting to see enemies. But I think something else is happening here, Krishna. These are the people that I love. What the hell am I doing here? These are Swajana. These are my own people. Suddenly, Arjuna is not thinking as sons of Dhritarashtra and sons of Pandu. No, he's thinking Swajana, my people. His compassion starts to change to lamentation. Nahi bhai, nahi. I cannot fight these people. I don't want all the three worlds. I don't want anything. I don't want to kill my own people. He's reached a point. Violence or non-violence. Arjuna starts to rationalize. Please remember, we do this several times in our own lives. Arjuna is rationalizing just like we do in our lives when we are put in situations that demand a war. Right? We start convincing ourselves, saying ahimsa is the right choice. But a lot of times we're fooling ourselves. Going forward, please remember, put yourself in Arjuna's shoes. Start thinking of yourself exactly as Arjuna is now thinking. Start realizing that Arjuna represents us, our common battles. And at this point, keep in mind, Napoleon Bonaparte said, the world suffers a lot, not because of the violence of bad people, but because of the silence of good people. All of Arjuna's arguments are coming from his illogical mind. We have to keep in mind that this war of Kurukshetra was not fought between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. No. It was not a war between Bhishma and Arjuna. It was not a war between Dronacharya and Arjuna. No. It was a war of dharma versus adharma. And in that situation, the war was necessary. Right? So, if we look at the translation of verses 32 to 35, we will be able to see all the excuses that Arjuna has come up with. I'm going to read this. Verses 32 to 35, the translation, O Govind, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudan, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, Why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the 3 worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So please understand, in the center of the battlefield, the enormity of the tragedy that is to come has now dawned on Arjuna. Right? He's thinking, oh my God, this is not how the enemy looks. These are family. These are friends. Pitamaha Bhishma has been more than a father to me. My Acharya Drona, he's taught me everything that I know. There are elders, there are teachers, there are uncles, there are nephews, sons, sons-in-law, fathers-in-law. Before me are all these people that I should be protecting, or they should be protecting me. But instead, here we are planning to kill each other for what? For a piece of land. How can that be right? How can that be good? What impact is it going to have on the kingdom? Right? So this is his first argument. And then he comes up with a very different angle. He says, oh my God, mujhe paap nahi chahiye. I don't want to incur sin. Taking away someone's life is immoral, right? Killing a relative is considered very, very sinful. So Arjuna is in a dilemma. What would I do with this whole kingdom, right? What will I do with this victory if I am so sinful? Will it give me joy that I have won a kingdom but I've lost all the people with whom I actually want to celebrate? Think of it, in our lives. If I buy a fancy car, there is majja only when there is someone there to appreciate it, right? Otherwise, who am I going to show it off to? Who am I going to enjoy with? So Arjuna says, oh Janardhan, I don't want to kill my relatives. I'm okay if these sons of Dhritarashtra, if they all come and they kill me. I have no problem. Let them kill me. Let them take away the entire kingdom. I don't want sin. Now remember, under most circumstances, killing or taking someone's life is considered a grave sin. But Shastra tells us that there are 6 circumstances in which it is acceptable to kill. If your enemy has set fire to your property, then you can kill them. If someone has tried to poison you, you can kill them. If someone has conspired and attacked you with deadly weapons, then you can kill them. If someone is looting your wealth, then please go ahead, kill them. If someone kidnaps or dishonors your wife, then most definitely you need to kill them. If someone has seized your kingdom, you need to kill them. And if you think about it, the Kauravas have done all 6. Duryodhan has given Bhim poison, right? We all know that incident. Duryodhan planned and set fire to that house. We know the Lakshagraha episode, right? We know that he's attacked them with deadly weapons all the time. We know that he's taken their throne and riches, which most definitely belong to the Pandavas, right? We know that he took away Hastinapur and Indraprastha. And of course, we know about Draupadi Vastraharan. So these guys, the Pandavas, they are Kshatriyas. And so Shastra allows them to kill their enemy. A man should be good, but a man should not be cowardly. Right? Arjuna is a Kshatriya. He has no reason to be cowardly. He has to fight for what is right. But at this point, seeing his relatives in front of them, Arjuna is completely miserable. And so, he's thinking of more and more reasons to not fight the war. He says, oh my God, think about this, Krishna. In this war, 3 generations of men are present. And if they are killed, who's going to protect society? All the Kshatriyas of our country are on this battlefield. Kshatriya ka duty hai to ensure that the Brahmins, the women, the children are all given protection. Hai na? Now, if all these Kshatriyas die, then Krishna, what is going to happen to the children, the women and the old people, the Brahmins? What is going to happen to all these people back in our kingdom? Right? Krishna is smiling. So Arjuna comes up with one more excuse. He says, Krishna, as families, we have age-old traditions. We have age-old, time-honored customs. Right? The elders pass on these values, these ideals to the next generation. But if all these elders in the battlefield, if they die, then who is going to teach the next generation what to do? How will the next generation get good guidance and training? In the war, many hundreds and thousands of people are going to die. And when elders die, all these necessary family traditions are going to die with them. Right? The remaining members of the family are going to become irreligious. They're going to get all kinds of wrong habits. Right? Who is going to guide them? How are we going to able to set up a society based on moral values? How are we going to again be able to set up dharma in our society when all these Kshatriyas die on the battlefield? The next generation is going to have no guidance, no training, and so they're all going to go away from the virtuous path. And Krishna, when there is irreligion, imagine what's going to happen to our women. If all the Kshatriyas die, what's going to happen to the women? Right? They're going to become polluted. Right? Society cannot flourish when there are polluted women who are giving rise to unwanted progeny. Society cannot flourish without good quality children. Right? Good population in human society is very important for peace and prosperity and spiritual progress. In Vedic society, women occupied a very high status. For families to be religious and societies to have a good moral code, it was necessary that women be virtuous. So Arjuna has become very concerned and he says, what will happen to society in the absence of elders and their guidance and their protection? The women are going to get misled. Now remember, all the warriors, the Kshatriyas, they are on the battlefield. Most of them will surely die in the war. So peace in society will get disturbed because the protecting warrior race is going to be missing. If so many Kshatriyas die, who will the women marry? The women are going to marry either Brahmins or Vaishyas or Shudras. So there is going to be Varna Sankar. Right? Pindadan will stop. The whole society will be deprived of Vedic rites. Family traditions will be given up. So society ka welfare is going to be at stake. And if we don't have responsible people leading the society, then that entire society will fall into chaos. Right? And when society falls into chaos, what is going to happen? Who are we going to lead? What are we going to do with that whole world? So he says, "Oh Krishna, I have heard that those who destroy family traditions will go to hell." So Arjuna is continuing to give justifications for not fighting his own people. He's so sad and he's so angry with himself. Ki, oh my God, just because I wanted a royal kingdom, am I willing to kill my own people? He's feeling utterly confused. He's thinking, ki, yaar, what am I doing? Am I this greedy? Do I want the kingdom so desperately? Am I willing to be responsible for the death of so many people? So right now, because he is so compassionate, he's forgotten all the evil that the Kauravas have done so far. He's forgotten all those 1,000 episodes which have led to the war. He's so upset that he thinks it is better that I simply die. Let the Kauravas kill me, I will not fight only. I will not pick up any weapons only, Krishna. Let the Kauravas do what they want. Arjuna is so overwhelmed at this point that he is thinking, okay, what is the use of this war? Who is going to benefit from this war? Nobody. Not us and not the Kauravas. Right? It's not going to help anybody. Then why all this bloodshed? So Arjuna is going through all these points in his head, and he's thinking so many disasters if this war took place. But what is he doing? He's ignoring the very fact that these wrongdoers, if they are not punished, if the Kauravas are not punished, it would do a greater damage to society. Correct? But what is Arjuna thinking? It's better for me to die, right? Let the sons of Dhritarashtra come and kill me, and I am not going to resist them on this battlefield. We do this often. Very often we keep blaming circumstances, we blame other people, but we turn a blind eye towards our own weakness. Arjuna's justification for not killing his greedy cousins and relatives is driven by his own attachment, by his own compassion towards them. He is blinded by compassion and he's forgotten his dharma as a warrior. Logically, law must punish the wrongdoers. Otherwise, we'll be living in jungle Raj, correct? But Arjuna's delusion has come to a point where he is willing to drop his weapons and allow the enemy to kill him unarmed. And please remember, Sanjay is sitting with Dhritarashtra and he's telling him everything that's happening on the battlefield. So all along, Sanjay has been seeing everything, listening to everything, and he tells Dhritarashtra that Arjuna is so sad that he has left his bow and arrow and he is sat down on the chariot. Arjuna is feeling utterly bewildered, and Arjuna has given so many justifications and declared to Krishna, Krishna, I will not fight. Right? This is where the first chapter leaves us. Let's do a quick recap of all the reasons that Arjuna has come up with. 1, he says, I am feeling compassion. Please remember, the people do not deserve his compassion. They are immoral, they are unjust. And as a Kshatriya, it is Arjuna's job to punish them. But what is Arjuna feeling? Compassion. Second reason, O Krishna, after winning the war, if all my relatives and friends and well-wishers no longer exist, then what is the use of winning the war? Who will I enjoy my riches with? Right? Like I said, when we buy an expensive something, an expensive house, a fancy car, or even if we dress very prettily, it gives us greater joy when we have people to show it off to and enjoy with. Hai na? So the second reason, loss of enjoyment. Third reason, he says, Bhai, mujhe paap nahi chahiye. Sinful reactions. He is very afraid of committing sin by killing. I do not want to incur sin. And finally, destruction of family traditions. He is saying killing 3 generations in the war is going to lead to societal chaos. It is going to lead to destruction of family traditions. Women will be polluted, unwanted children will be produced. These unwanted kids will be the future generation and they will not have proper guidance. They will stop doing pindadan. They will stop performing rituals for the forefathers. So in that situation, the entire society is going to go into the dark ages. So Krishna, I will not fight. Please remember, when this started, right, and Arjuna wanted to check out the evil guys who had gathered to fight against him, he was standing tall and confident on the chariot. But as soon as he saw his near and dear ones, he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down and he put aside his bow and arrows. Arjuna's reluctance to fight the war has reached its climax. He's very, very sad and he has definitely said, I am not going to fight. Imagine this behavior is from someone who is considered the most determined, the bravest of all. In fact, before the battle, when both parties were mobilizing their armies, Arjuna had a choice. Right? He was given a choice between the entire Yadu army, the Narayani Sena, or the unarmed Lord Krishna. And Arjun said, I want Narayan. I don't want the Narayani Sena. Arjun had chosen the Lord because he had complete faith in himself and in the Lord. At this point, let us consider who Arjun really was. He was not any Tom, Dick and Harry. He was the greatest archer of the world. He had won several wars. He was Guru Drona's favorite student. He was Dhananjay. He was Gudakesha. He was Partha. Right? His divine father was Indra, the king of heaven. Arjun had been to Indralok and received several boons from the various devatas. In his past life, Arjun was Nar of the Nar Narayan. Nar is the perfect soul who is full of divine knowledge. And yet, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, this warrior of grand stature is dropping his weapons. Try and think of what is the cause of his misery. Arjun represents all of us. We all have several talents, several blessings, huge support systems, great education, good amount of wealth. We have everything. And yet, when faced with trying situations, we forget who we are and what our strengths are. And we simply succumb. So this Bhagavad Gita is a manual for our life. When we buy an appliance, a manual comes with it, correct? And if we use the appliance in accordance with the instructions given in the manual, then the appliance will work very well for a very long time. Similarly, the instructions on how to live our life is given in this beautiful scripture called the Bhagavad Gita. And if we follow this manual, we will live a very happy, a very fruitful and a very meaningful life. And every now and then we need to pick between what is right and what is not right. And what is not right is sometimes very attractive. Right? So typical in our lives. We face this question many, many times. When we are faced with choices, right? When we're faced with difficult choices, we tend to pick the easy one. Right? Please remember, the situation that Arjun is currently in, we face that situation many, many times. And please remember, when we make a choice, we close the doors on the other options, and that is very, very scary. And that is where the Bhagavad Gita comes handy. It helps us make a decision. And deep down within, when we make a decision based on the Bhagavad Gita, we will know, yahi hai right choice, baby. Aha. Okay. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Thank you all for joining in. This brings us to the end of the first chapter. And we need to know, whatever our weakness is, we better deal with it head on. All we need is Krishna on our side. Danvat Pranam.